Morning everyone, Eric Meehan here. It is September 23rd and this is Message in the Bottle. It is a root day, again, kind of overcast. Very often that follows. It's not necessarily a hard and fast rule, but often you'll sort of sense a day where you're kind of, and in terms of wine, it's kind of, but that's okay. You know, the heavens will keep turning and days will change, and perhaps again it's a perfect night for a nice beer, maybe just some lemonade, whatever. But if you want to open a bottle, make it a simple, nice fruit forward red or white or something like that. So I want to talk a little bit about climate change because it's very real and it's come across my radar a lot lately. And we'll talk a lot more about it because there's a lot of different effects that climate change is having on the wine world. But behind me you can see a map of France, and it was made very, very stark to my whole family actually when we were over there a couple years back, mainly down here in the southern Rhone Valley, and then going towards the Languedoc especially. It was made very, very clear that drought, intense heat. So for instance, right, one of the things that made this area kind of tolerable for grapes was that over here the Alps, and the winds would sweep down off of the Alps, called the Mistral, and then of course you'd have the warming air from the Mediterranean. I feel like I'm a weather forecaster here or something like that. Pushing on to this now. I don't have the thing here to show me anyway. It's not a green screen, by the way, this is all real. So, because if it was a green screen, I would wear something and make myself look huge and amazing. So right now, what's happening is there's immense drought. There's not enough rain. The heat is unbelievable. I hear from my friends in this area how they keep longing, and this is going to be important, pay attention, to move north because that is where it would be a lot more favorable to A, grow grapes, and B, deal with being a farmer. Because it's very hot and it's very unpleasant, and when you're losing a tremendous amount of your product to climate change, it makes you rethink life. Well, this is obviously happening on a global scale, right? This is not just my friends in the southern Rhone Valley. And let's first start, because we talked a little bit about appellation. We'll talk about sort of the economic effects and the future effects of climate change. But right now, let's just talk about the obvious fact that these colorful areas, these delimited appellations, are not the same as they were when they were created. And the grapes you can grow, the quality with which you can grow them, obviously is changing, right? There's no question. I think, a recent study found that 80% of all farmers in the US now agree that climate change is not only real, but it's really, really affecting their business. And the other 20%, I guess, just don't want to admit it yet because it's absolutely true. So, is the Côte de Nuits right here the best place to still grow Pinot Noir, and a place where you can legitimately charge, in certain cases, thousands of dollars a bottle? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. They certainly don't have the ripening problem. So bear in mind, back in the day, they used to cart trucks worth of wine from down here where it was warm up into here to mix in with their wines to make sure that they had more robust wines, alcohol percentage, etc., which is, by the way, totally illegal. They would do it under the cover of night and hope they didn't get caught. Very often they would. By the way, that's not that long ago. That's within my lifetime, and not only my lifetime, but my professional lifetime. I remember actually there being a bust in Burgundy. So this is happening very quickly. So it's a reasonable thing to question. Are these places still the best places to grow these grapes in France and in other places? Now, places like, this is up here, this is in Normandy, right? You see how this is kind of gray, however? This is not wine country, not yet. But right across the English Channel, in southern Kent, in England, that is wine country now. Didn't used to be, but now a lot of the major champagne houses, because the subsoil underneath them is very, very similar, if not exactly the same, basically. They're growing champagne-style wines, grapes, and making champagne-style wines in southern England right now. This is where they grow a lot of apples and pears. That's Calvados country, Poir country. But a lot of my friends down here are talking like, you know what, we're gonna move up there and find a couple of hill slopes and start planting stuff and see what happens. This is all in the minds of these people who have been doing this for centuries at this point, and looking for new opportunities in new areas, because this is all very real. We're going to talk about, like I said, the economic effects of this, agricultural effects of this, grape effects. There's hybrid grapes now, and different ways of sort of dealing with this on a scientific level. So stay tuned. We'll talk more about it in the upcoming Message in the Bottle video series. But just to give you guys an idea, this is happening here. It's happening everywhere, and we're going to have to deal with it as wine merchants, as wine lovers, and that's just the reality. But that's okay. At least people are thinking about it, and hopefully we'll get ahead of it as opposed to lagging behind. Talk to you next time.